What's up, race fans? It is Randy Orton, Fan 2011, and I'm here to bring you the special competition for this season in Season 3 of in my main series. So we are here at the race was originally supposed to take place at Stunt Track, but then I realized that the game kept crashing, so we decided to go here to Zenjoltis instead. So there are 34 drivers and only one golden ticket to the playoffs. Only one driver will have the right to the playoffs in either the Pepsi Max Nationwide Series or the Pepsi Cup Series. Emphasis on the "or" because I want to make sure that I have everyone else a fair chance at actually making the playoffs. So we're here at Zenjoltis after running a bunch of test races here. We decided to choose this one over Stunt Track because the game didn't really crash a lot, and was that with the high-speed action here at Zenjoltis. So let's take a look at the starting lineup the old-fashioned way. We're going to just go through this row by row. So it's Seth Cole and Sean Henley starting on the front, followed by Dylan Poteet and Dylan Young, the two Dylans. Then you got James Qualls, Anthony McCurry in row 3, Brandon Bain, James McLeod in row 4, and rounding out the top 10 are Randy Carpenter and Jake Cole. Row 6 is Pichu London and Eric Burton. Then you got Ben Paul, Richard Johnson, Barney Ward and Jacob Lawler, Trent Dunham and Ryan Richards, and Tony Blazer and Callum Wales, the Aussie, 11th through 20th. We get through the rest of the field here and go through 21st through 30th now. That is Xavier Livingston and Charles Jackson. And I'm going the wrong way. Wrong button, damn it. There we go. Xavier Livingston, Charles Jackson in row 11, Joseph Lombard, Michael Norman, row 12, row 13, Lyndon Wright, Alex Jones, row 14 has Kyle Sosnowski and Ricky Hawk, and 29th and 30th are Ron Fajara and Cody Lamas. Row 16 has Luke Martin and Ryan Juke, and row 17 has John Waycross and Stephen Whitman. Now you're probably wondering why this 33 car is here. It's because nobody took it. Nobody took the 33 car, and you're probably wondering why it's here. Well, it's me. That's right, I'm joining on the fun as a non-eligible entry. Pretty much here, I'm just here to play a spoiler role. I'm just here to play as a spoiler role, just to see what I can do here and what I can shake up. And pretty much the reason the 33 is here is just to shake up things a little more, just to shake things up. And plus to ensure that ensure that no driver with a large lead is pretty much safe with the lead, there will be pit stops. You heard me right, pit stops, and I'm not joking. There will be pit stops. Just for the first time ever in any of my series, we will be having pit stops. So it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. Alright, enough talk. Let's get this race underway. Engines are fired up. We are ready to go here at Zenjoltis for 24 laps in this special competition. 34 drivers and only one golden ticket, and that will be answered right here in this race. One driver, one lucky driver, will earn the right to the golden ticket in the playoffs of either the Pepsi Max Nationwide Series or the Pepsi Cup Series. 34 drivers, the one spoiler in Aaron Williams, he might end up playing a factor in this one. Pace car will hit the apron, not pit road, the apron. And all of New York City is on their feet as the green flag is out. And now we'll see how these drivers are going to bunch up here early on in this race. Remember, one mistake by one driver could mean the end for many more. And we see Kyle Sosnowski, he's going on the apron there. The last place you want to be is around that apron because you go back up the racetrack and then all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. That could be the case right here. But somehow they keep it together for some reason or another. I think this is the best view we can get of all 35 of the cars here. Everyone racing here. Seth Cole with a steady lead so far. Now we got more cars on the apron. More cars hitting the apron. There they go. Callum Wales into the wall. And there goes Joseph Lombard. Lombard is around. Charles Jackson. Lyndon Wright took a spin. Was spinning out. Yellow flag is out. But now we got to race back to the start-finish line. And will these cars wreck as they come into the line? There they go. Trent Dunham. Richard Johnson. Sean Henley. Brandon Bain. and more. And that was just what we were waiting for in something like this. Oh my god, there goes Aaron Williams. Holy shit, Aaron Williams slipped wildly. So there goes our spoiler. And there go more drivers on the field. Unbelievable. Racing back to the line, and all of a sudden one mistake by one driver cost the race for many. Seth Cole was the guy who beats the field to the line. Ben Paul second, Randy Carpenter third, James McLeod fourth, Barney Ward runs the top 5. Multiple incidents happened on the very first lap. Let's take a look at all those incidents that put us under the yellow flag for the first time in this race. Stay tuned. This will put us under the yellow flag for the first time in this race. It starts right here with Jacob Lawler and Callum Wales. I'm going to go up the racetrack. Callum Wales is going to get cut off by Charles Jackson. And there goes Anthony McCreary and Ryan Richards hard into the wall. And then you saw Luke Martin and Ron Fajara also get turned around some way. And then right here, Joseph Lombard's going to get turned around by Lyndon Wright and then Ryan Juke. Lyndon Wright's going to get turned around by Aaron Williams. Charles Jackson also spun out. That's what put us under the yellow flag. Now, there was a second incident that happened right as it came off of turn 4. Right as it came off of turn 4. And we know I think Richard Johnson and Trent Dunham were the two main guys that really got a big piece of it. Let's see if we can get a better view of this. Can't quite get a good enough view. But right around here, there's some contact. There's some contact right there. Contact between Alex Jones. No, that's Dylan Young. My bad. Dylan Young and Richard Johnson. They're going to get into Trent Dunham here. And right around here, this is where all the mayhem starts. This is where all that shit starts. Brandon Bain's going to get into it. James Qualls and Pichu London are also going to get involved. Dylan Poteet, Sean Henley, Jake Cole, they're also going to get involved. And look at all these cars spinning out. I think Kyle Sosnowski might have gotten a piece of it as well. There's Alex Jones. He's going to get a piece of it. And then here comes the second pack that were involved on that first incident. This is the pack that was involved, though. We can't see through the smoke. This is the pack that was involved in that first incident. Oh, and right there, Cody Lamas took a hit. Cody Lamas got hit. And right here, Aaron Williams going to take a hit from Sean Henley. And then Ryan Juke going to flip Aaron Williams wildly. See if you can count how many times Aaron Williams flips. That Cheerios machine has been crushed. And I hope some of you guys are happy to see our spoiler gone. But let's take a look at this again in real time. Let's take a look at the flips Aaron Williams took in real time. Multiple flips by Aaron Williams in that 33 Cheerios machine. He is done for the day. There goes our spoiler. But also Richard Johnson, Sean Henley up in smoke. He's done for the day. Xavier Livingston took a hard hit. Brandon Bain got a nice piece of that second incident. So a lot of confusion going on here in this race, and it is caught. And one mistake by probably notably Richard Johnson, and well, you know what, let's go back to see what whose the mistake was that brought out that second wreck. It was pretty much confusion here between, and it was Dylan Young and Richard Johnson. It was their mistake that spun around Trent Dunham, Brandon Bain, James Qualls, Sean Henley, and many more drivers, at least 12 drivers, getting a piece of this one, pretty much ending their day. At this point, Seth Cole beat the field to the line. Ben Paul again second. Then it's Randy Carpenter, then James McLeod, Barney Ward in fifth. As we are under the yellow flag for the first time in this race for multiple incidents, let's get back to some green flag racing right now. We're back. Pacer's giving us the one to go. Here comes the top 10 rundown. Seth Cole's the leader, Ben Paul in second, Randy Carpenter third, James McLeod fourth, and Barney Ward runs at the top 5. Jacob Lawler in sixth, Eric Burton seventh, Tony Blazer in eighth, Ricky Hawk in ninth, and Kyle Sosnowski runs at the top 10. 12 cars DNF from the first caution. Lyndon Wright, Aaron Williams, Dylan Young, Sean Henley, Dylan Poteet, Joseph Lombard, Brandon Bain, Richard Johnson, Alex Jones, Cody Lamas, James Qualls, and Ryan Richards. So we're down to 23 cars. We really are down to 23 cars now that our spoiler Aaron Williams has been DNF'd. Green flag is back in the air for the restart on lap 6. So now with just about a third of the field taken out, will these cars be more aggressive now? Will these cars try to stay more conservative early on in the race, or will they try and be aggressive here? Of course, we still have to go through a round of pit stops, as you guys know. Again, watch these speeds skyrocket through the roof. And it's James McLeod in the Pepsi machine trying to take away the second position from Ben Paul, who goes way up the racetrack. See, there's a second pack here. Pichu London, Ryan Juke, Trent Dunham, Anthony McCurry, Charles Jackson, Michael Norman. These guys are off the pace, so they're going to have to hope for a caution here. Looks like our lead pack consists of 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 drivers, as I know of. And I think Seth Cole leads lap 6, but here comes James McLeod to the inside. James McLeod looking for that golden ticket after losing a bet on season 2, which prevented him from making the playoffs. James McLeod really wants that golden ticket. See, the rest of these cars are pretty much spread out now. I think now it has become 11 cars that have pulled away from the next 3. So now 11 cars are getting much faster. So now it might be an 11-car battle here for this win if the race goes green flag the rest of the way. But Seth Cole back out with that 77 machine. Seth Cole is back to the lead. Seven laps have been completed now. Seth Cole is still the leader. But remember, guys, pit stops could be coming soon for many of these drivers, and that could play a factor in this one. It's now Seth Cole, James McLeod, and Ricky Hawk and Barney Ward on the inside line. Ben Paul stuck towards the outside. Remember, for many drivers, you want to be on the inside line to gain the advantage on either the restart or off the turns. As you see right here, James McLeod looking to do just that, trying to get help from Ricky Hawk in the 83. And James McLeod did take the lead away for a moment, but now Ricky Hawk wants to go back onto the inside. Ricky Hawk got a nice head of steam heading into that. Heading off of turn 4. We are one third past this race. James McLeod did lead that lap, but it's not going to matter anyway. There are no bonus points here. It's a 3-by-3. It's a 3-on-3 here. 3 on the outside, 3 on the inside. We'll see which line is going to come away with something big here. And now I think the rest of this pack, I think these other 2 cars, Ron Fajara, Xavier Livingston, they're starting to catch the draft once again. So it is now a 13-car battle here for this lead pack. Now John Waycross and Jacob Law are on the apron for the moment. Gotta be careful passing on that apron, because you don't want to cost many other cars a chance at a win. "15 laps to go. There's still plenty of time left in this race as Stephen Whitman leads lap 9. John Waycross all the way on the apron, losing a lot of momentum. Oh, Oh, some hit. Oh, there goes John Waycross hard into the inside wall. Question is the yellow flag going to come out? Yes, it is. Oh, there's another incident. There's another instance. It's Jake Cole and John Waycross. And Jake Cole flipping over multiple times like Aaron Williams did on the first caution. And that was just about ready to happen with John Waycross and maybe more drivers. Let's get back to the race, back to the start-finish line. Stephen Whitman has led at this point. And here comes Ben Paul and Barney Ward to the inside. And again, going on the apron. The apron's a very dangerous place to make passes. It's not an out-of-bounds line to consider in this track. Then we might be at a super speedway, but that yellow line is not an out-of-bounds line, but that could be very dangerous for some drivers, as Stephen Whitman has led the field back to the start-finish line. So we're going to pass the halfway point after this yellow flag, after our third yellow flag. No, wait, actually our second yellow flag, my bad. This is our second yellow flag of the race. So after our second yellow flag of the race, we will be past the halfway point. Now let's take a look. We'll put us under the yellow flag for the second time. Stay tuned. This will put out yellow flag number 2 in the race, and again, it starts with John Waycross being on that apron, trying to make passes, but you know, he's getting very slow on that apron. And then right around here, gonna go back up the racetrack. He's gonna tap Eric Burton, and right there, that's what takes out John Waycross from this race. Hard hit into that inside wall, but then that's not the end of it. He's still sliding at about 100. He's losing speed. Losing speed very carefully. The yellow flag did not come out at that point. But this is what put us under the yellow flag. Right there. Hard hit by Jake Cole, head on into John Waycross. And John Waycross upside down on his roof, and then Jake Cole flipping over multiple times. Not a good move there by John Waycross to go on the apron, and John Waycross will flip over a few times before landing on all fours. Two-car incident that put us under the yellow flag for the second time. Get back to the race to the start-finish line. And I think Stephen Whitman was the leader at the line. Yes, it would be. Now the question is, will these cars make pit stops? As we are pretty much towards the halfway point, we've pretty much passed the halfway point of this race. Will they make pit stops? Who will make pit stops? Stay tuned. A couple of drivers are going to make some pit stops here. Luke Martin, Trent Dunham, and Anthony McCrory, they were all the way in the back, so they will be making some pit stops here. Everyone else will probably plan to stay out or maybe pit on maybe a couple of laps later. So 3 cars will head into pit road at this moment. We'll see if there are any more car takers into pit road in the next few laps coming soon. Well, right as we were ready to go back to green, look at this. Ben Paul is up in smoke. Ben Paul has smoked the engine. He is done for the day. And now, here we go. Now the pit stops are going to happen. And look at Stephen Whitman. He is all the way up the front, and all these other cars are going to get held up by Ben Paul here. See who's going to stay out. Barney Ward is going to stay out. Ricky Hawk, Eric Burton, and Xavier Livingston, they will stay out. And now as you see the drivers head into their pit stalls, we'll see which driver will get out first. Remember, you want to have a clean pit stop, but you don't want to take too much time because it could cost you a lot of positions. A couple of cars are starting to pull out now. Who's going to win the race off the pit road? Just barely Stephen Whitman, followed by, whoa, man, shit, couldn't quite keep up there. Seth Cole, and then I think that's Tony Blazer. And I gotta make sure I get this right. Tony Blazer and Jacob Lawler would be number 4. Randy Carpenter would be number 5. So pit stops have taken place, and we'll see if we're past the halfway point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, wait. 8 cars. 8 cars actually did not pit throughout this caution. As you see, Luke Martin, Trent Dunham, Anthony McCurry pitted on the previous lap. So we'll see if we can get back to green flag racing, as every other cars as most of the cars have pretty much made their pit stop at this point. So we'll be back to green flag racing in a bit. Well, just when I was about to say that, Ricky Hawk, Eric Burton, and Pichu London, they will be making pit stops as well. And now you're going to see this pack here. They're going to catch up to the rest of these guys. And now it could be costly enough for these guys because the pace car is giving us the 1 to go. So it could be costing for Pichu London, Ricky Hawk, and Eric Burton to be pitting right now. Just go through this a little bit, and we'll get back to green flag racing in a bit. Here comes the top 10 rundown. Barney Ward and yes, Barney Ward's the leader. Xavier Livingston is actually second. Callum Wales third. Ryan Juke fourth. Charles Jackson runs the top 5. Luke Martin's in 6th. Trent Dunham in 7th. Anthony McCurry 8th. Stephen Whitman 9th. And Seth Cole runs the top 10. Multiple cars right before we get back to the green flag. No, wait, not more cars. Jake Cole is actually 3 laps down. John Waycross and Ben Paul have DNF from the race. So we're getting back to go to the restart with 10 to go this time by. Green flag back in the air. And now for drivers such as Barney Ward, Xavier Livingston, Callum Wales, Ryan Juke, Charles Jackson, could that might have cost them not pitting under the yellow flag? So now it's going to be a big test here for, I think, the top 3 actually, as Charles Jackson is starting to fall off because he's one of those who didn't pit, and Ryan Juke. See Luke Martin, Stephen Whitman. Those are the first 2 guys that those are 2 of the guys that ended up pitting under the yellow flag. They are in 4th and 5th at this point, and they're 4 wide as they come off of turn 2 or make that turn 3. My bad. Now they're bunching up here. They come through turn 4. And look at Ryan Juke losing a hell of a lot of positions. Look out! Holy shit! Michael Norman almost got into Ryan Juke right there. And now Charles Jackson and Ryan Juke, they're going to have to make pit stops. Those 2 are going to have to make pit stops now. I think another car is on pit road. There's Barney Ward and Callum Wales. They are also making pit stops. And Xavier Livingston. That might end up costing them as they did not pit under the yellow flag. We got out here for the lead. Randy Carpenter, Stephen Whitman. Randy Carpenter in his 2nd season in the Pepsi Cup Series. Stephen Whitman, a rookie. Then you got Seth Cole, a veteran since season 1. Luke Martin, another rookie. And then Jacob Lawler, another rookie. 2 veterans and 3 rookies currently in the top 5 at this point. Now here comes another rookie, Ron Fajardo, trying to catch up in 6th. Tony Blazer, 2nd-year man, in 7th. James McLeod also in his 2nd year in the series in 8th. Ricky Hawk in his 2nd year in 9th. And Eric Burton in his 2nd year in the 10th position. And then you got Anthony McCurry in a rookie currently in 11th. 8 laps to go now at this time by as Randy Carpenter leads lap 16. Now it's pretty much beneficial for these cars such as Stephen Whitman, Seth Cole, and Randy Carpenter. These guys have already pitted, so this might help these guys out. But the question is, will they have to end up pitting after if another yellow flag does end up coming out? That's the question. Oh, Kyle Sosnowski, he has blown up. Kyle Sosnowski has blown up, and he is done for the day. Tough break for that 84 team. Now for drivers such as Ryan Juke, Charles Jackson, Callum Wales, Barney Ward, and Xavier Livingston, they are going to need to hope for a yellow flag to get back in this one. Randy Carpenter retakes the lead. Seth Cole is now up to second. Stephen Whitman falls to third. And Jacob Lawler still in fourth. And now Ron Fajara is up to the fifth position. Tony Blazer now sixth. Luke Martin has fallen back to seventh. James McLeod is now eighth. Ricky Hawk in ninth. And Eric Burton rounds at the top 10. We're coming around with 7 to go now. And here comes Seth Cole to the inside of Randy Carpenter looking for the lead. Randy Carpenter awfully strong on the outside line. But now another question is about to be asked. What's going to happen when these cars hit Ryan Juke in just about a few moments? That outside line could be held up, or maybe the inside line could be held up. They're going to try and split the 12. Just barely splitting the 12. Man, what a close call right there. Randy Carpenter retakes the lead. And now here comes fifth and sixth, and Tony Blazer and Ron Fajara. Now will they end up? Now where will they go as they encounter Ryan Juke? Randy Carpenter will lead with 6 to go now. They will go to the inside of Ryan Juke. No harm, no foul. And now it looks like I think the cars in position 7, 8, and 9. That is James McLeod, Luke Martin, Ricky Hawk. They will encounter Ryan Juke as well. And now they just saw Charles Jackson. I forgot to mention that Charles Jackson, he's also a lap down. So now that has spread out the top 4 for the moment, and now Tony Blazer could take away the 4th position from Stephen Whitman. Randy Carpenter still the leader as they come to turn 3. And now we got more slow cars as we got more slow cars in the way of the leaders right here. Tony Blazer's taken away 4th from Stephen Whitman. The top 5 could be encountering some lapped cars down here in the stretch. 5 laps to go now this time by. It could be pretty much a 5-car battle here at this point. Seth Cole now with the momentum on the inside, looking for the lead. Seth Cole to the inside. He will take the lead from Randy Carpenter. And now here come these leaders. They are going to encounter Callum Wales very soon in this race. They will encounter Callum Wales sometime in this race. So Callum Wales could be playing a factor in this one. He could be playing a factor in determining the outcome of this race. So now it looks like we've got a 5-car battle here. Got ourselves a 5-car battle. Yes, yeah, we just saw the leaders as they're coming off of turn 4. They are about to see Callum Wales sometime very soon in this race. Come around with 4 to go now this time by. It's not over till it's over, guys, but who knows? Some of these guys may still have to make a pit stop. You just never know what could happen here in NR 2003, the most unpredictable game we have ever seen. Tony Blazer stuck on the outside. Here comes Whitman to the inside in the GameStop car in the 20, looking for the second. He's going to have second. And now Jacob Lawler trying to take away 3rd from Tony Blazer. Now side by side, Whitman and Cole for the lead. They come to turn 3. And they're getting closer and closer to the Aussie of Callum Wales. This lead pack is starting to close in on Callum Wales. That could be the deciding factor in this race. Three laps to go, and it's still 5 drivers who are still pretty much in contention for this win. The golden ticket is still up for grabs, guys. Anything and everything will happen. As you see, they are about almost 10 miles per hour faster than Callum Wales going through the track. So they very likely could encounter Callum Wales as they get to the right before they cross the checkered flag. Well, actually, we'll take a look at the last lap. The last lap time, Callum Wells is a 66.557. Stephen Whitman, the leader, is 63.939. So these guys could very likely encounter Callum Wells in the last two laps in this race. Now Seth Cole back to the inside of Whitman for the lead. And here comes help from Jacob Lawler. There you see those. There's the leaders. They're going to come around with 2 to go now. This time by. Come around 2 to go this time by. Here goes no Seth Cole. Seth Cole might have to make a pit stop. Oh, that might have changed the landscape now. Seth Cole now has to make a pit stop. That might have cost him right there. 2 to go. And Stephen Whitman to back out on top. Again, let's take a look at the lap times. 64.210, 66, 64.210 for Whitman, 66.560 for Callum Wells. So these guys are perilously close to Callum Wells now. And also the question is, will either one of these guys make a pit stop? That might be the question now for these guys. For Stephen Whitman, Randy Carpenter, Jacob Lawler, and Tony Blazer, will these guys end up making a pit stop? Will Callum Wells play any factor in the closing laps of this race? Or will one of these drivers have to make a pit stop right before the checkered flag? White flag is out. 1 lap to go. Stephen Whitman, Randy Carpenter, Tony Blazer, Jacob Lawler, 4 cars. 1 will take home the golden ticket. And again, they're closing in on Callum Wells. Starting to close in on that 16 machine. Tony Blazer not wasting any more time. Looking for a second from Randy Carpenter. And we're probably going to have to stay on he wants to get the draft off of Stephen Whitman here. They're going to split. They're going to try and split Callum Wells here. Randy Carpenter's going to get held up. Now it could be a 2-car battle for the win. Tony Blazer, Stephen Whitman, 1 driver. Randy Carpenter and Jacob Lawler got held up right as they came to the line, right as they came to Callum Wells. Here comes the big question. Will either one of these cars slow down to make a pit stop? Doesn't look like that is the case. Here's the checker flag. Stephen Whitman wins it. Stephen Whitman takes home the golden ticket. For rookie Stephen Whitman, this has got to be one of his most surprise accomplishments I had thought about. Oh, Tony Blazer really got something happened with Tony Blazer's car, and that might have cost him the race right there. Something tells me that GameStop Toyota had something in it. What a job well done by Stephen Whitman. He will take home the checkered flag and the golden ticket. He will now be eligible for either the Pepsi Max Nationwide Series or the Pepsi Cup Series playoffs, dependent on his choice. Because he can only make the playoffs in one of those series. He is in both the Nationwide Series and the Cup Series, so he will choose either one of those to make his playoff debut. And if you want to win a race, this was the one to win for Stephen Whitman. A job well done by that 20 team, and they will be going into the playoffs in one of my series, and now we take you to your official race results. This is a look at the final results of the competition. Stephen Whitman is the only guy that really matters here. He will take the golden ticket. He will go to the playoffs for one of the series, either the Pepsi Cup Series or the Pepsi Max Nationwide Series. But listen, Old Spice 671, that is his username. Old Spice 671. Since you are the winner of this race, I will PM you later on, telling you that you must make a choice in either to be in the playoffs of either the Pepsi Max Nationwide Series or the Pepsi Cup Series. Also, Stephen Whitman, now that even though you may have that golden ticket in the playoffs, that does not excuse you from commenting. You must still comment on as many races as possible. You must comment at least once every 3 races, and if you do end up losing your ride, then you will lose your golden ticket into the playoffs. If you lose your ride, you lose your spot in the playoffs, and that is it, and no exceptions. Well, there's the rest of your finishing order. It doesn't really matter at this point. 18 cars ended up finishing the race, 15 on the lead lap. But really, the only guy that matters is Stephen Whitman. As long as he keeps on commenting on these races, as long as he keeps commenting throughout the rest of the regular season, in whichever series, in all my series, whichever series he chooses to make the playoffs, then Stephen Whitman will be good to go. So Stephen Whitman is your winner here at Zenjoltis. He wins the special competition. He goes on to the playoffs in either the Pepsi Max Nationwide Series or the Pepsi Cup Series. Old Spy 671. I will give once you finish watching the race, I will give you a PM to make your choice on which playoffs you want to be a part of. All right, it's been a crazy race here at Zenjoltis. Lots of wrecks, and our spoiler got taken out early, but a most unexpected winner in Stephen Whitman. So that is how it officially ends. Again, congratulations to Stephen Whitman. He will get the golden ticket into one of the series playoffs. Alright guys, that's it. This is Randy Orton Fan 2011, signing off. I'm out.